second part of this video is the types of thread that we use in our projects. Now, you might see something called all-purpose thread, which is not really all-purpose. It's just like the finest, most delicate stuff that they make. It's not what we want for our projects. Also, things like that shiny rayon thread, that's really more for like decorative projects. It's not really sturdy. Usually the minimum strength that we use in our projects for lycra spandex, also with polyester polylite, is hand quilting thread. This is a step up from the so-called all-purpose thread. We use that with our number 16 sewing machine needles, and it works great. Just wind a bobbin with this stuff, and you're ready to sew lycra, spandex, doll clothes, polyester polylite computer cover, or whatever you want. Next up after that is what's called heavy. You might also see some that's called top stitching. It says it's for jeans, but really it's a bit sturdier than the hand quilting. They also make a machine quilting thread, which is not the same thing, but I'm just used to using the top stitching thread. I would use this if I was going to make something like a unitard, a pair of bike shorts, or even a pair of long fabric gloves for me to wear if I'm out driving. And the next up, the heaviest that I use for my projects, is this upholstery thread. Now you feel it, it's made of nylon, so it feels smoother because it can slide through faster if you have to do a long baste. I do use a lot of this for basting because it's nice and sturdy. I use this color because it contrasts with something light like sky blue or white. You can also use white thread if you're doing a dark project. I also do use this for sewing. I've made belts out of hook and loop fasteners, also known as Velcro, plus nylon webbing, and that's going to be for another video. And the last thread I use is what's called transparent, or sometimes called invisible thread. It's not really invisible, it's just a fine, clear plastic monofilament, kind of like really fine fishing line. If you look at it through a microscope, it looks like what it is, just a really fine, round plastic rod. And a lot of times when I've done doll projects with it, I've used it to attach these little 1/4-inch snaps, which are the smallest ones they make. I don't need to wind a bobbin. I usually just use regular generic needles plus a thimble, and that covers all of the threads and all the needles that we use in our projects here at SewStretchyFabrics.com.